when you're lying down. When you're lying down, the stomach's like this, and let's say the stomach's full of food, and because of gravity, that's what it looks like. And so what happens is it pushes against the cardiac sphincter, weakening it. So the two main causes of reflux or heartburn is weakening the muscle through stress and weakening the muscle through having a large evening meal. Hello, I'm Barbara O'Neill, and I'm passionate about empowering people with practical knowledge to heal naturally. Today I want to share with you powerful natural remedies to reverse chronic acid reflux for good. Whether you've been struggling with discomfort, dependency on medications, or simply seeking a healthier approach, these methods can transform your health. Drawing from years of experience in natural healing, I'll guide you through simple lifestyle changes and remedies that can help you regain balance and vitality. Let's reclaim your health naturally. As a thank you for joining me today, we're giving away 100 free copies of my best-selling book to our subscribers. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, like this video, and comment why you want to win. Now let's get started. And how would someone know if they had low hydrochloric acid? I have never met anyone with too much hydrochloric acid. Some people say, I've got too much acid. I say, how do you know? They say, well, it keeps coming up. Well, that problem's not the acid. The problem's a little gate. Now, this little gate here is called the cardiac sphincter because of its relationship to the heart. And it's a muscle. And basically it looks like this. There's the muscle. And when it's relaxed, it's closed. And when it tightens, it opens. And it tightens when you're eating food to allow the food in there. Now, if when the food's in there, it's opening, there's a malfunction. Why would there be a malfunction? If someone's really stressed out and all their muscles are tightening, can you see that little muscle will open? But one of the main reasons is that people are eating late at night. And let's have a look at the stomach when you're lying down. When you're lying down, the stomach's like this, and let's say the stomach's full of food, and because of gravity, that's what it looks like. And so what happens is it pushes against the cardiac sphincter, weakening it. So the two main causes of reflux or heartburn is weakening the muscle through stress and weakening the muscle through having a large evening meal. Now, I believe that in a well-hydrated, well-slept, well-exercised, well-mineralized body, that body copes with stress. But when a person's dehydrated, they haven't slept well, they're not eating nourishing food, they're not handling stress. We all have stress. And I don't think stress causes a problem, but it can be the final thing on a whole lot of other little things that can cause the scales to tip. So how do you heal reflux? Have a breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, and tea like a pauper. What's tea like a pauper? Tea like a pauper would be a bowl of soup. Or tea like a pauper might be a banana, or it might be an avocado. And if someone's quite hungry because they didn't get a good lunch, they might have 2 bowls of soup, or they might have a bowl of steamed vegetables with a little olive oil and Celtic salt. Those things digest quite easily. Or another evening meal that is light is a smoothie. A smoothie blended up can be digested quite quickly. So the other thing that you can do to help reflux is take magnesium. Now, magnesium is a muscle relaxant. So magnesium will relax that cardiac sphincter so that it will close. So the dosage for someone who has reflux would be 500 milligrams of ideally magnesium citrate, which is the most absorbable form of magnesium, and they would have that dose 3 times a day with each meal and also just before bed. So that's 2,000 milligrams over the day. Now that's not forever, that's just until the problem heals. to take an antacid because a person has reflux. Okay, students, what is going to break the protein down now if the acid is taken away from the stomach? Because remember, pepsin will only work in an acid environment. So many people are causing digestive problems because of antacid. Yes, the antacid stops the acid and so it doesn't come up and burn, but what's going to break your food down now? And long-term antacid use is now showing that it's causing colon cancer because there's no acid or not enough acid in the stomach to break the food down. So then the food comes to the duodenum, and trypsin and chymotrypsin that are supposed to finalize protein digestion has to start it because it didn't get started in the stomach. And they only started it so it can't be finalized. So by the time this partially digested protein gets to the large intestine, extra bacteria has to be produced to try and deal with it, and that can cause a breaking down of the colon wall, which can contribute to colon cancer.
Your body does not produce the enzymes or acids it needs for proper digestion. Another factor contributing to low hydrochloric acid is inadequate zinc levels. Zinc is vital for the production of stomach acid, and without it, the digestive process falters. A simple way to boost zinc is through foods like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and seafood, or by taking a high-quality zinc supplement. Additionally, poor posture, especially slouching after meals, can put pressure on the stomach, exacerbating acid reflux. Sitting upright or taking a gentle walk after eating can make a significant difference. Finally, incorporating fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi can help replenish healthy gut bacteria, improving overall digestion and reducing symptoms of reflux. These natural adjustments support the body's ability to heal itself and restore the digestive system's balance.
The importance of leaving a break between meals. The stomach is an acid environment, and if someone says, I've got a very acid stomach, my comment is, thank God, because that's what breaks our protein down, is acid. And I have never met anyone with too much acid. It's actually a myth. So let me show you what lines the stomach. What lines the stomach are big folds. And these big folds are lined with gastric glands. And 2/3 of these gastric glands release mucus. Mucus is 99% water. And the reason why God designed it this way is to cause a thick mucosa wall to line the stomach. And what that does is that protects the lining of the stomach against what's released here. So these glands release mucus, and these glands, called the parietal glands, right in the base of the fold, they release hydrochloric acid. And hydrochloric acid is very important. Do you know dogs have 10 times the hydrochloric acid that humans do? And have you seen what dogs eat? Just about kill us. My daughter lives out on 7 acres in Wisconsin, and we went out the back door one day and the smell, and we realised that the dog had pulled a leg from a dead cow and was eating it. The reason they don't die is they've got 10 times the hydrochloric acid that we have. Our gastrointestinal tract is approximately 10 yards long. Theirs is 1 yard long. Strong acid, in and out quick. That's how they survive. Hydrochloric acid is antifungal, antimicrobial, and that's why the dog, their hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria. In fact, the only people that really suffer from food poisoning are people with low hydrochloric acid. I've never met anyone with too much hydrochloric acid, but I've met many people with not enough hydrochloric acid. How do you know if you haven't got enough hydrochloric acid? It's 4 hours after the meal and you feel like you've just eaten it. Because if you had strong hydrochloric acid, it would digest the meal very, very quickly. And so because it's not getting digested efficiently and effectively, it can start to ferment, so that can cause bloating. What is also released from the parietal glands is pepsinogen. And pepsinogen and hydrochloric acid, they unite. And they unite to release pepsin. And pepsin is the enzyme that breaks down protein. This union together will only happen in an acid environment, and pepsin will only act in an acid environment. And that's why for the breaking down of our protein, an acid stomach is important. When we wake up in the morning, it's not acid. It's only released when we smell, see, think food and start tasting food, then it's released. I think we're all familiar with Pavlov's dog, that experiment where just even the thought started to release those enzymes. So what would reduce the hydrochloric acid? What would reduce these enzymes? If someone's anxious or stressed out, that blocks the release of hydrochloric acid. Drinking with the meals. You see, digestion is a chemical process, and water dilutes the chemicals. I'm sure we all remember it from science experiments in school. You pour water on acid, you dilute the acid. So the hydrochloric acid and the pepsinogen are very important. What's also important is not eating between meals. And there have been many experiments done to prove this, and they all come to the same conclusion that digestion takes 3.5 to 4 hours. And as you'll discover as we go through our gastrointestinal tract,
the body doesn't know the difference between hunger and thirst. So what feels like a hunger pang may simply be dehydration. A glass of water at this time often resolves it, supporting proper digestion as well. Another factor that impacts stomach activity is overeating. When the stomach is overfilled, it struggles to produce enough hydrochloric acid and enzymes to process the meal efficiently. This can lead to fermentation, gas and bloating, aggravating reflux symptoms. Eating smaller, balanced meals allows the stomach to work more effectively. Furthermore, low stomach acid can reduce the absorption of key nutrients, particularly vitamin B12, iron and calcium, leading to long-term deficiencies. Rebuilding stomach acid through proper hydration, avoiding drinking with meals, and incorporating bitter greens like rocket or dandelion before meals can stimulate healthy acid production, aiding digestion and reducing reflux symptoms. I had to take iron tablets. Sometimes I thought I was going really well and I'd stop taking the iron tablets and then I'd go down without me realising it. I even had to be rushed to hospital and given a blood transfusion. The hemoglobin levels in the blood should be between 11 and 15. Mine got down to 5 and death is 3. That's when they gave me the blood transfusion. So I would diligently look after my body. I do not want that to happen. I went to specialists. I went to naturopaths. They said you should be eating more protein. They said you should be eating more dark green leafies. But I look at my children, they're eating exactly what I'm eating. So I went to my anatomy and physiology books. And I discovered that iron is bound up in food and it needs acid to free it from food. Your body will quickly tell you what's working, and paying attention to those signals is key. Another habit that weakens hydrochloric acid production is chronic snacking. Constant grazing means the stomach is always working, never getting that critical rest period it needs to reset and produce adequate digestive juices. Over time, this can deplete hydrochloric acid, leading to poor digestion and reflux. Also, consuming processed foods regularly can impair stomach function. These foods lack the enzymes and nutrients needed to support digestion, putting extra strain on the stomach. Instead, including fresh enzyme-rich foods like papaya, pineapple and sprouts can naturally boost digestion. Finally, reducing stimulant intake, such as caffeine or alcohol, is essential. These irritants can inflame the stomach lining, further hindering acid production. Supporting the stomach with these simple changes can dramatically improve chronic acid reflux symptoms.
So what would cause a weakening in the production of hydrochloric acid? Drinking with the meals. You see, digestion is a chemical process, and that whole reaction I just showed you only happens in an acid environment. If people are drinking with their meals, it waters down the acid so you don't get that connection. And it's an American habit, isn't it? Certainly an Australian habit. Michael and I go to a restaurant and the waiter, what's the first thing he asks? What will you drink? No, we won't have anything to drink. Oh, we'll just bring you water. Now, if we say no, thank you, every waiter in the restaurant is coming to us. You don't have water? We let them put the water there. Okay, that just keeps them quiet. I think it's because people are so busy, they've got no time and they sit to eat. Oh, I haven't drunk. And then they drunk water. And a lot of people think they'll just wash the food down. Wash the food down, they basically wash all their digestive enzymes away. We should be stopping water ideally half an hour before the meal, resume about an hour and a half after the meal. That hour and a half allows time for those digestive enzymes to start their breakdown. If someone's thirsty after a meal, by all means have a mouthful. But large fluid with the meal will water it down. Also, when people are eating every couple of hours, you see, we have one stomach. And that stomach, there's much research to prove this, that one stomach takes 3 to 4 hours to digest. And then that stomach loves a 1 hour rest. So what's that between meals? That's 5 to 6 hours between. Surely not for children. Do you know they've got the same digestive tract? And you might have noticed, I worked out very early, children say they're hungry when they're bored. Have you noticed? And often, when a hunger pang is experienced between meals, it's often dehydration. One day my son Peter came to me and said, Mum, the water's not doing it anymore. I looked at my watch and said, great, it's lunchtime. When the water's not doing it anymore, it usually is time. It is time to eat. Also, what exhausts the hydrochloric acid is eating large amounts at the end of the day. See, when we go to sleep at night, our stomach wants to sleep too. So if there's a huge meal in there, you know, everything slows down. This digestion's going to be very slow. And when the person wakes up in the morning, do they feel like eating? No. Now, my son James, he's a builder. He works out every day. He's very fit. He eats 4 meals a day. He has breakfast at 5:30, and his metabolism is so fast because he's working so much that he has another meal at 11, and he has another meal, I think, about 4, and he goes to the gym at night and works out, and he has something else to eat about 7:38, and it does him well. Can you see how you've got to play with what works for you? One man said to me, I grew up with 8 brothers. Our mother and father said you're having main meal for breakfast, main meal for lunch, and that's it. He said, we're working hard on the farm. He said, we'd get into our cars and go to town and eat junk at night. That mother would be far wiser to see she's got growing boys who are working hard and provide something for them to eat at night. So a meal at night that would digest quickly would be fruit or a salad or soup. Big growing boys can have 4 bowls of soup, or a protein drink. A protein drink can digest easily. You just got to work out what works for you, and your body will quickly tell you what's working. So that is what's broken down in the stomach. Protein and protein alone.
Thank you for joining me as we explored natural remedies to reverse chronic acid reflux for good. I hope these insights empower you to take charge of your health and embrace simple, effective changes for lasting relief. Remember, your body has an incredible capacity to heal when supported naturally. Stay consistent, listen to your body, and enjoy the journey toward vibrant health. If you found this information helpful, please like, share and subscribe to help others discover these life-changing tips.